Hello, everybody, and welcome to 42.8 Shibuya Scramble. I think that's how you say the number. I'm literally basing that off of how um, The World Ends With You says the 10-4 building. So I'm hoping... Fucking can't. I'm, I'm hoping 42.8 is how you say Shibuya Scramble. But yeah, this is the next game that I'm playing. I'm thinking it should be better than the previous game. Uh, I have faith in most Spike Chunsoft projects. Uh, at least all the ones that I've played. Actually, I have to be in the game. Okay. Do you want the guide to gameplay to be displayed? You recommend this first? Okay, sure. End bad. Oh no. Story is a work of fiction. Just so you know. If this happens in real life, not our fault. Oof. Spike Chunsoft logo literally screeching into existence. So this game looks both interesting and weird because it's like live action, I think. Yo, look at those names. I'm not going to attempt to pronounce. I have no idea what this game is about, by the way. I don't know if it's purely funny, purely serious, a mixture of both. All I know is that the mascot is like a man in a cat suit, which I'm pretty sure is like an actual person you can play as because he's like trapped in a mascot costume or some shit. I know that it does that timeline table thing that I'm a really big fan of. It's like a timeline thing that this Euroscape series has, as well as AI that Somnia Files had, where you can go down multiple paths depending on your choices, at least from the look of it. And I'm a big fan of that style of, I guess, visual novel storytelling. I like seeing the chart, especially since I can go back to a lot of the scenes and pick the nuance. Live action production by Twin Japan. What is that? Oh, it's Blimp.
番組の途中ですがニュースをお伝えします。新宿区オフィスビル立てこもり事件の速報です。今朝新宿6丁目のオフィスビルに目出し帽をかぶった40歳前後とみられる男が従業員数人を人質に取り立てこもりました。その後数時間経った今も男は
Oh no. It's a blue van.
会社員の話によりますと立てこもっている男は北島という男である可能性が高いとのことです。その男は以前からこのビル内のある企業との仕事上の取引があり金銭上のトラブルが絶えなかったということです。今回の立てこもりはそのトラブルに端を発したものではないかと見方が強まっています。
Was that a car bomb? Oh my god. What? Alright, game, you have my attention. Shibuya's story is yours to tell. No, don't put that pressure on me. Goodness. How is this even going to play out? Achi. Oh, Kano. As you play through the game, the various mechanics will be explained. In 42.8, you follow the stories of multiple protagonists at once. I do know that. Your decisions impact their experiences as you read the story. What does the day hold in store? Their fate is in your hands. Hopefully, you can see them all through to the end. To start, you have two characters, Shinya Kano and Achi Endo. Let's begin by checking out Kano's story. What if I don't want to? Fine. Oh, cool. It tells you, like, the time period. So from 10 to 11. Interesting. Okay. And then the time chart isn't actually unlocked yet. There it is. Kano. What was that? Just 2 more minutes to go. Shinya Kano noted the time again on his watch, scowling at the slow creep of the second hand. The time was 9:58 a.m. Hey now, I was lied to about the furrows of consternation. Really? Creased his forehead. This is gonna be the worst. Now everyone has to fucking find out how fucking stupid I am. He wasn't nervous, but he knew better than to expect everything to go smoothly. Keeping a level head was proving rather difficult. There was no room for failure. Lives were on the line here. He eyed his surroundings. Was the perp really gonna show up? When? Where would he be coming from? How would he make his approach? The Shibuya Scramble was as packed as ever. Look at the... I was about to say, look at these people walking in, and they stopped. A throng of people crossing this way and that, blissfully unaware. Did I say Shibuya Crossing? The Shibuya Scramble. Of the dozens of detectives hidden in its midst. You were one of them. Alright, another minute and a half. Yo, that me? I'm looking good. Kano glanced down at his watch yet again. 30 seconds passed. Detective Kano had been with the enforcement arm of Shibuya's criminal affairs section for a year now, but he'd never been part of an operation this big before. He eyed the young woman standing beside the statue up ahead. She was small enough to get lost in the crowd, and she carried a nondescript attaché case. Sup? Hitomi Osawa? Hitomi Osawa, age 19. The attaché case in her hands contained a full 15 million yen in cash. Yesterday, her twin sister, Maria, had been kidnapped. This was the ransom payment. The culprit had called Hitomi last night at home, referring to her by name and telling her to wait by the statue of Hachiko in Shibuya. It was almost time, but nothing. Kano was staring fixedly at the second hand on his watch when a homeless man sitting on the sidewalk murmured just loud enough for him to hear. Come on, Kano. Quit looking at your watch so much. What is a kidnapper sees you? Kano tried to look nonchalant as he lifted his eyes, but the scruffy character continued. You're too nervous. Just relax already. You're the one acting suspicious, Sasayama. Kano frowned. Why would some homeless guy be talking to me? Yuji Sasana. Ooh, what? Some words and phrases in the text appear in blue. These are called tips. Press square to underline a tip and press X. This will let you read some extra info relating to a word or phrase. There are tips containing general knowledge and ones that are 42.8 specific. These are marked with a magnifying glass and a 42.8 respectively. Yuji Sasayama was a senior officer of the Shibuya Precinct's Criminal Affairs Division, 5 years older than Kano. Shibuya Precinct. Official name, Shibuya Central Precinct, responsible for the safety of approximately 200,000 people in 32 neighborhoods, including, oh god, Uehara? Immediately the entire rest. Okay, I see Shibuya, Shoto, Jinan, Dogensaka, I think that's how you say it. Ah, fuck, how dare you. How dare you. I'll never forgive the Japanese. Alright. He always went a little overboard with disguises. He claimed it was all part of the job, but word around the station was that he just liked playing dressing. Hey, pal. Spare some change. Sasayama lurched to his feet and shoved him closer to Kana. Hey, knock it off! Fittingly for the part, Sasayama reeked pretty badly. Well, it's so suspicious now, huh? He clung to Kana with mock camaraderie, despite the younger man's attempts to pull away. You know what? After all these years, I don't think I've ever seen camaraderie spelled out. So, thank you, game. Come on, Sasayama. Cut it out! Sasayama's blithe confidence rattled Kano's nerves. Of course, there was a good reason for that confidence. This was Kano and Sasayama's jurisdiction, but they were positioned a good distance from where the handoff was to take place. A particular region over which an organization or a member thereof has control or authority refers here to the area under the jurisdiction of various police precincts. The Metropolitan Police Department, at the pinnacle of Tokyo's police hierarchy, has vastly more authority than local precincts, but since many officers wind up needing to work with both, the outright rivalry between the two isn't as notable as TV dramas may make it seem. The statue of Hachiko was surrounded by, sometimes too, or press circle to return to the story. Okay. The statue of Hachiko was surrounded by elite investigators from one of HQ's special investigation teams. Bronze statue of a dog erected in 1934. The dog was famous for loyally waiting for his absent master. Well known as a meet-up spot outside of Shibuya Station, other popular meet-up spots at the station are the display car for the original Tokyo 5000 series, commonly known as the Green Frog, and the Moya statue by the western entrance. I do not know about the Green Frog, but I know about the statue of Hachiko and the Moya statue because of the one in HQ. Here refers to the Metropolitan Police Department, Tokyo Police Section responsible for managing 101 precincts within the city, Japan's largest police organization. In addition to policing Tokyo, it has various other duties and authorities for maintaining public order in the capital. Kato and his partner were just there to provide backup if the kidnapper attempted to flee. Look, just try to relax. We'll be fine. Sasayama gave him a wink. A moment later, the radio squawked in Kano's ear. Alright, everyone, it's time. Keep your eyes open. Yo! The voice coming through the earpiece was Koji Kuze, HQ's operations director. The individual responsible for directing the investigation in the event of a serious crime. If a task force is set up, the operations director is the one who assumes command. TV dramas and other fictional accounts often feature some young prodigy whom the NPD is operations director, but in reality the position usually goes to a prudent veteran. Until last year, he'd been the Shibuya Precinct's head detective and Kano's supervisor. We don't know when the perp is going to make contact. Don't let your guard down. Kuze's low, gravelly voice echoed in Kano's ear. Low and gravelly. I don't think I could do gravelly. You don't sound too worried, Kuze. Kano winced at Sasayama's words. How could the man be so nonchalant? The appointed time had come and gone. Something should be happening. What? Kano smacked himself in the thigh to release a little tension. The sound was louder than he had intended. Though the suit hit his muscular physique, it did little to dampen the noise. He needed to stay focused. He might be called to action at any moment. The department handled abduction cases according to a certain standard investigation procedure. Was it an attempt to extort money, or was the motive something personal? The answer to that question determined how they deal with the criminal. And based on the investigation team's initial findings this time around, they probably weren't dealing with a professional kidnapper. Still, in all likelihood, it was someone with quite a long rap sheet. Probably someone who knew the family, but so far they had few leads on who might bear such a grudge. With the situation so unclear, the plan was to apprehend whomever came to make the handoff on site. If the culprit ran with the money, there'd be no guarantee of the hostage's well-being. Still nothing. Sasayama muttered. There he is! He's here! Kuze broke in, his voice spiking into an excited chirp. Kuze's a particular vocal quirk. Whenever he gets overly flustered, excited, or panicked, he slips into a childish register, prone to babbling and pitching his voice. Subject is a young male in his 20s, wearing a bandana and an orange hoodie. Kuze! Oh wait. Kuze, normally calm and stoic, was now squawking like an excited child. That only happened when he got particularly worked up. Kano and Sasayama steeled themselves. They could see the subject now, a 20-something male nonchalantly approaching Hitomi to talk to her. Alright, people, be ready to grab this guy. Kuze was stationed in the mobile command center not far from the intersection, keeping tabs on the situation via video surveillance from the camera team. The young man started speaking enthusiastically to Hitomi. The detectives watched, uncertain. Is this really the kidnapper? Oh no. You'll encounter selections like these during the story. These choices will change the lives of other people, in addition to changing yours. Your own fate. Good choice, then press X. The current choice will not impact you or any of the other protagonists. It's gotta be him. Kano took a step forward and hesitated. Situation still, it wasn't entirely clear. We needed to get a better look at things. Situation still wasn't entirely clear. We needed to get a better look at things. The newcomer held a bunch of letter-sized papers which he showed to Hitomi as he went on talking. He tried to hand her one of the papers, but she pointedly ignored him. Undeterred, the man kept trying to foist it off on her. Hitomi refused to respond, becoming as emotionless as the statue of Hachiko behind her, until finally the man gave up and walked away. Guess it wasn't him. Kano felt the tension of the moment linger in his spine. Guy must have been hitting on her, Sasayama muttered. Succeeding at meeting someone on the fly like this takes a special knack. Looks are also important. Sometimes, of course, the person trying to get your attention out of nowhere is just trying to make a sales pitch for a product or a nearby establishment. At first glance, it isn't always easy to tell the difference. I mean, she is pretty cute after all. He had a point. Though, of course, something in Sasayama's voice made Kano brace himself. She's got nothing on my Mi-chan! Mi-chan was Sasayama's wife. They'd gotten married just last month. Let me tell you, Kano, married life is the best. You gotta hurry up and give it a try for yourself. This was Sasayama's favorite topic lately, and Kano was getting more and more fed up with it. Sasayama, come on, just knock it off, okay? The phrase had become a common refrain of his since the department partnered them. Fine, fine. Let's talk about your girlfriend then. Huh? Now? You can't be serious. Sasayama leaned in close again. What's she like? We're not having this conversation. Kano muttered, looking away. Oh, come on. Sasayama set his hands on Kano's chest, still playing the homeless troublemaker. Show me your phone. Let me see your lock screen. Huh? Sasayama paused for the phone. You got a pic of the girl on your lock screen, yeah? I do not? But he did. It was scary how on the mark Sasayama's instincts were. Hey, cut it out, we're in the middle of an investigation. I am investigating. Sasayama chuckled as he plucked the phone from Kana's pocket. His face scrunched up with astonishment as he looked at the lock screen. Heck is this? It's not. Ain't this Masami Nagahama? Nagahama. A national star, tends to play the heroine on national morning soap operas or in national historic dramas. Her songs have been a series of national hits, and she's even slated to host the year-end national singing competition program. Everything about her is national. Connor realized he had to bite the bullet. No, that's my girlfriend. Her name's Rumi, and she's... Sasayama cut him off. You're telling me this ain't Masami Nagahama, the famous actress? Because this right here is Masami Nagahama. Like I said, you sly old dog, trying to make like you're dating Masami Nagahama. I'm not. I mean, I guess Rumi does kind of look like her. Sasayama let out a huff. Maria? You really think I'm gonna fall for that? There's nothing to fall for, I swear. Sasayama scowled, unconvinced. Alright, then why don't you marry her? Kano stammered, but he had no answer. The truth was, he would have happily married her already. But there were obstacles that needed to be overcome. Okay, playtime's over. Let's focus on the job. Sasayama handed back Kano's phone and turned his gaze back to Hitomi. Kano let out a quick, uneasy sigh, but his shoulders did feel looser. Maybe Sasayama had been trying to relieve a bit of the tension. Maybe he should be grateful? By now, several minutes had passed since the guy with the papers had gone by. He peered at Hitomi. The strain on her face was visible. In addition to the weight of the Tachi case itself, the 10,000 yen bills it held weighed close to 6 kilos. Her slender arms must have been getting tired. Still, she refused to set the case down. She wasn't taking any chances with her sister's life. The kidnapping case had begun the day before, at around 7 p.m. This is MPD Dispatch. The Shibuya precinct is reporting a missing person, believed to be an abduction. In Japanese law, the act of indirectly luring or deceiving someone into the control of a third party is known as kidnapping. Using forceful threats or violence to achieve the same result is known as abduction. Subject is Maria Osawa, a 19-year-old student at Midoriyama Academy, last seen at the LL Diner near campus. A man was allegedly seen forcing her into a car nearby. All officers in the vicinity report to the scene at once. Kano and Sasayama had been working a burglary case in the Jingu Mae's 5th district when they got the call. The two arrived at the LL Diner at 7:15 p.m. At roughly the same time, several other officers showed up to secure the area, blocking off entry to nearby roadways and monitoring the surrounding establishments. Inside the restaurant, Kano and Sasayama were met with the girl who had reported the kidnapping. It was the victim's twin sister, Hitomi. Could you tell us about where Maria was taken, starting from the very beginning? Kano said, keeping his voice low. My sister and I, we were supposed to go to a party together today. Hitomi was trembling, her voice hoarse. But I missed time. I showed up right at 7, an hour later than I was supposed to. So Maria had gone alone to the party, a mixer for locals and exchange students. Hitomi, arriving late, had shown up just in time to glance out through the restaurant window and see her sister getting shoved into a car. She described the vehicle as a blue station wagon of Japanese make. Why would something like this happen to her? Hitomi held back her tears, but she was shaking all over. Did you get a look at the kidnapper? Yes, it was a man, middle-aged. There was another eyewitness. Leland Palmer. He identified himself as a lecturer at Hitomi and Maria's school. I saw too. It's like Hitomi says. I heard Hitomi cry out and I went to the window to look, and his Japanese was halting, as if he hadn't been in the country a very long time. For very long. I think that maybe the kidnapper was working alone. Leland explained that he'd seen the man shove Maria into the back seat, then clamber into the driver's seat. If he had an accomplice, wouldn't they have been driving? Neither Hitomi nor Leland had gotten a look at the suspect's face. Kano was interviewing others who had been on the scene looking for other potential witnesses, when his phone rang. Damn it. It was Yoshio Kajiwara, one of the senior detectives. "You set up a task force for the investigation. Get back to the station once you have a handle on the situation there." Nearly half an hour had passed between the time the kidnapping was reported and the time the task force began operation. Roughly 150 people are working on the case in the Shibuya Precinct's conference room, the main force at work in HQ's 1st Special Investigation Unit. Additionally, other detective sections, a riot squad, and investigators from neighboring precincts have been assigned. When Kano and Sasayama got back to the precinct station, Uze had already arrived from HQ. He informed them that a response team had been formed to investigate the victim's home. In a case where someone has been abducted for ransom, it is often difficult to resolve a situation without cooperating with the victim's family. But the family can also be a hindrance in making an arrest. To help guide the family's actions, a response team is assembled and stationed at the victim's home, led by an investigator with the proper training. Kano could feel a peculiar tension in the air. Unfamiliar NPD detectives scurried to and fro around the Shibuya offices. He pulled one of them aside to get a quick update. An hour had now passed since the kidnapping. There had been one new development. The perpetrator had made a threatening call to the victim's home. He said the following: "Tomorrow, 10 a.m. by Hachiko in Shibuya. Have the sister Hitomi bring 50 million yen. If not, the girl's life is forfeit." Kajiwara and the precinct was put on the response team, along with detectives from elsewhere who'd received special training in abduction cases. Normally, a local precinct detective wouldn't have gone undercover in a victim's home. Kuze, however, had decided that having a knowledgeable local was crucial, and had sent Kajiwara along. The detectives disguised themselves as delivery people and movers to make their way inside without arousing suspicion. Arriving there at 8:30. The response team had come prepared to run a trace if the kidnapper contacted the family a second time. An act of pinpointing the source of an incoming phone call. The police are not allowed to do this independently without oversight. They must go through a formalized process that includes securing the operation of the phone company. In the past, conducting the trace itself would take time, but nowadays acquiring the location can be practically instantaneous. But there were no further calls. Kano checked his watch again. 20 minutes had now passed since the time designated for the ransom handoff. The kidnapper had yet to appear. Crap. You think we might have spooked him? He wondered aloud. Hey, stay calm. Sasayama scanned the passing throng. He's just playing with us. Why'd this guy even pick this place? Kano voiced the question he'd been asking himself ever since he'd heard the kidnapper's demands. Sasayama shrugged. Figure he must want to blend in with the crowd, nab the money, and disappear before anyone knows he's there, would be my guess. In that case, why not pick Shinjuku or Ginza? The big crowd didn't just benefit the kidnapper, after all. It also allowed the police to use the sea of people to conceal their own operation. Right now, there were 50 detectives stationed within a 50-meter radius of where Hitomi stood. The kidnapper would be taking a major risk if his plan was to nab the ransom money and run. That's what bothered Kano. Any criminal with half a brain would know better than to do the handoff in front of Hachiko. You're overthinking things, pal, Sasayama grumbled. No, I'm not. Kano reached into his pocket and pulled out his notepad. This was Kano's dick diary, which he always kept close at hand. Sasayama rolled his eyes. That thing again? Kano ignored him, flipping through the notepad pages. Aha, here it is. Dictum? Fuck. Off. I got a fucking Windows update just randomly. Dictum 89. The more irrelevant something seems, the more relevant it's bound to be. It was a favorite saying of Kyuzo Tateno, an assistant inspector from the Shibuya precinct. Tateno was the kind of detective Kano aspired to be. For the current operation, he'd been placed in charge of Hitomi's personal safety. He was in position to defend her as soon as the ransom had been handed off. Of course, Hitomi hadn't been informed of how much protection she was under. There was a risk that if she acted too secure, it might alert the kidnapper. I think Tateno has the right idea. Sasayama snorted quietly. Maybe. I mean, he is a great detective. Don't get me wrong. But do you know how many irrelevant things there are to consider? Again, Kano ignored him. It didn't matter if nobody else understood. Kano had faith in Tateno, as both a detective and as an individual. He had first witnessed Tateno's brilliance during a standoff at a financial company 3 years earlier. A man had shut himself in an office, splashed gasoline everywhere, and threatened to set the place ablaze. While the others hesitated, Tateno unflinchingly doused himself with gasoline and strode into the building, where he managed to talk the man down and secure the scene. The others had been awestruck by Tateno's actions, and Kano, who at the time had been content to be a run-of-the-mill policeman, had found it quite inspiring. Still, you know, Sasayama murmured under his breath. As great a detective as Tateno is, it's not like anyone else in the world has ever heard of him. I suppose not, Kano said. So? Only time anyone ever hears a cop's name is if he's caught up in some scandal or killed in the line of duty. I mean, it doesn't really seem fair, does it? Kano just shrugged. It was a strange definition of unfair, really. I mean, you've got celebrity chefs and celebrity hairdressers and stuff. So how come no celebrity gumshoes, you know? Look, please, can you just focus on what we're doing here? Kano rubbed his eyes, then turned his attention back to Hitomi. What's the matter? Didn't sleep? Not enough, I guess. Did you eat? Didn't have time. Between bringing in supplies for the base of operations, readying the team's vehicles. A base of operations is usually set up in a large room at the precinct, such as an auditorium. MPD and precinct investigators assemble there, and communications equipment, investigation resources, and such are brought in because of the because of the scale and scope of these activities. Newspaper reporters can be liable to notice. And so in cases such as kidnapping, where a victim's personal safety is at stake, the flow of information is tightly controlled. Readying the team's vehicles, photocopying hundreds of documents, and various other tasks, Kano had barely slept the previous night and hadn't gotten a meal in either. What have you been doing? Sasayama puffed out his chest. Saving up my energy for today. So you were sleeping. Kano gave a wry chuckle at his partner's lack of shame. There he is! Kuze's voice chirped suddenly through Kano's earpiece. A man in his 20s, wearing a sleeveless red jacket. He's carrying a garbage bag. A young man had emerged from the crowd about 15 feet from where Hitomi was standing. He strode toward her, a sinister look on his face. He didn't match Hitomi's description, but Kano felt a jolt of nerve all of a sudden. All the same, maybe the kidnapper had hired some young shoe-punk to snatch the ransom payment. That our guy? What do you think, Kano? Sasayama whispered. Yeah, I think you've got it. This was it. Kano swallowed the lump in his throat. He bent his knees, ready to act fast. Blood rushed to his leg muscles, banishing the stiffness that had begun to take hold. Could this be the culprit? Or perhaps... The young man tried to snatch the briefcase from Hitomi, but she clutched with desperate strength. It was him! The detectives rushed in. Whoa! Hey! What the hell? The young man cried out frantically and tried to dart away, but the officers closed in, forcing him bodily to the ground. Target acquired! Ah, jeez, I think we've got another suspect on the scene. Eek! He's taken the ransom! Kuze's hysterics made Kano spin around. Sure enough, a foreign-looking man was sprinting away, attaché case in hand. The mob of detectives scrambled to pursue. Before Kano could react, most of them had run off, leaving him to look after the original suspect. By the end of this game, I'm gonna fucking be dying. What should I do with this guy, sir? Might have some connection to the kidnapper. Should I bring him in? Huh? Oh, sure, that'd be swell. I'm on it. With the help of one of the remaining detectives, Kano brought the suspect back to the Shibuya precinct. Look, how many times do we have to go through this? Cut the crap! In the interrogation room, the young man, who gave his name as Achiendo, steadfastly insisted on his innocence. Why'd you try to steal that case? Kano watched Achi's face intently. Like I said, it looked heavy, so I was trying to help her out. It wasn't inconceivable that a young guy would want to help a pretty girl, but Otomi had just been standing there, hardly in desperate need of assistance. She hadn't set the case down, so I figured there had to be something important inside. An entry from Kano's dick diary shot through his mind. Dick Dictum 25. When the tongue slips, grab it, and yank out the truth. Classic advice for a questioning. Something important, you say? Such as, how the heck would I know? Achi spat. He huffed and slumped back in his chair. This standard textbook back and forth had been going on for nearly an hour. Kano didn't mind. Chasing down criminals was all well and good, but questioning suspects was another key part of the job. Plenty of off-the-scene work went into cracking the case. Once again, he had Achi explain that what he'd been doing, starting from the beginning. When Kano finally emerged from the interrogation room for a short break, he learned that there had been some progress on the case at the crime scene. What the police hadn't been able to determine yet, however, was whether or not Maria was safe. Fighting back his anxiety, Kano consulted his dick diary. Dick Dictum 54. Haste makes waste. He felt his tension subside, remembering the right maxim always helped. It was like casting a magic spell. Kano returned to confront Achi once more. You were there to act as a distraction, to mess up the investigation, weren't you? Huh? Achi looked a bit dumbfounded. What are you on about? Dick Dictum 55. Truth hungers to be free. You hungry? Got some katsudon, if you like? Japanese dish consisting of a bowl of white rice topped with breaded pork cutlet and egg. There are several variations such as sauce katsudon, where the egg is replaced with a Worcestershire sauce, and miso katsudon, where the pork is stewed in miso. Not typically the sort of thing that police offers a suspect during interrogation. This could be seen as baiting with food and is to be avoided. Achi nodded silently. Achi devoured the bowl of katsudon with gusto. It looked like he hadn't eaten in a while. Alright then, spill it. What's this guy after? Achi just shrugged. Oh no, he murmured, a thick slice of egg-laden pork between his teeth. How many accomplices do you have? Kano asked. But Achi just shook his head as he inhaled his food. Resignedly, Kano flipped through his notebook once more. Let's see. Number 115. Use the lights to your advantage. As the minutes ticked past, he found himself referring to his book again and again, trying a dozen different methods to tease out whatever his suspect might be hiding. The experience began to feel strangely surreal. There were two voices echoing hollowly in the interrogation room. Eventually, Kano looked at the clock and realized that the questioning had been going on for nearly 5 hours. He still hadn't made any headway. What was he supposed to do next? Tenno would know, but he sure didn't. Still, he was determined to do whatever he could to help to keep the victim and her family safe. Gritting his teeth in frustration, he pursued the dick diary like it was scripture. Perused the dick diary like it was scripture. Number 116. The monotonous questioning was clearly tiring Achi out. His eyelids drooping like they were beginning to get heavy. Number 117. Get him when they're tired. Kano's eyes gleamed. You're part of some criminal gang, huh? Achi's head slumped forward heavily. Nodding off was basically the same as nodding yes, right? Mr. Kuze, I did it! The young guy we grabbed at the handoff site, he finally confessed to the crime. What? What are you talking about? Kuze laughed in disbelief. We're just about to apprehend the mastermind here. Huh? Kano clutched his cell phone dumbstruck. Listen, why don't you, look, just wait there at HQ, okay? No, it can't be. I... After the kidnapping case wrapped up, Kano tendered his resignation. Guess I'm not cut out to be a detective after all, he thought to himself. He dropped the Dick diary on his desk as he left the Shibuya precinct for the last time. What? Bad end. Number 1. So long, Shibuya. Kano wound up at a bad end. However, this does not mean that the choice you made for Kano was the wrong one. One of the other protagonists, Achi Endo, has an impact on Kano's fate here. You can avoid a bad end by making proper decisions in another character's story. For a detailed hint, check the tip by underlining the bad end title. Press square, then X. Hint. Kano had every reason to suspect Achi Endo, but arresting him turned out to be a mistake. If Achi hadn't approached Hitomi, this wouldn't have happened. Try playing Achi's story up to 10:30 and make a choice that keeps him from going up to her. If you do that, Kano won't ever have a chance to arrest him, and things should play out differently. You can now select Achi Endo, one of the other protagonists. Let's follow Achi's story for a little while. Alright, you delinquent. Let's see what the hell you are up to. Oh god, I'm either gonna love this guy or fucking despise him. Achi Endo called out at the door to his father's room. Okay, I'm headed out. Sure. His father sounded unconcerned. He didn't even open the door. Sure you don't want me to stay here in the shop? Not like we're gonna get any customers. Achi grimaced. Yeah, I guess not. The drawer by the front door held a stack of heavy-duty trash bags. Achi pulled a few of them out. Guess it's gonna be that kind of day. He stuffed a trash bag into his pocket and slipped on his favorite pair of sneakers. The entryway to Achi's home also led into the family shop. Various pieces of electronics were piled up like so much junk in the tiny retail space. The slightest bump brought the risk of an avalanche. Achi wove his way through the gaps in the appliances like a spelunker exploring a cave. From Shibuya Station, if you make your way past the 10-9 building, then up through Dogenzaka, you'll come across an old shopping district. Nestled in its outskirts is Endo Electronics, in the same place it's been for decades. Within its dimly lit interior, you'll find rows of wares all caked in dust. At a glance, you might well assume the place was closed. A mom-and-pop place like Endo's couldn't compete with the big consumer chains booming throughout Shibuya. So far, the store had remained in business thanks to the locals who appreciated that they made house calls to do repairs. But things weren't looking good for the future. Achi, the eldest son and nominal successor to the business, had no interest whatsoever in working there. stepped out of the shop into the sunny morning air. The good weather lifted his spirits. Alrighty, time to do this! He unfurled one of the big garbage bags, which caught the wind and fluttered like a cape. Then he slowly made his way towards Shibuya station, scanning his surroundings all the while. Sheesh, this place is filthy. He paused to pick up a plastic bottle that had been tossed to the ground. Then made a heavy sigh. He slipped the crushed receptacle into his trash bag. Oh, an eco-friendly man. He's been picking up trash around town like this for about 6 months now. He had gotten so that the sort of garbage most people would hardly notice stood out to him like a sore thumb. Most days he filled his garbage bag to the top by the time he'd make it from his house in Dogenzaka to the train station. Today he was halfway to the station when a woman's anxious voice caught his attention. I'm sorry. I'm in a bit of a hurry here. He looked up and saw a timid-looking woman being confronted by 2 men, one with brown hair, one with black. From the look of them, he guessed that the men were scouts for some hostess club. He ran into this sort of thing pretty frequently on his trash cleaning walks around town. Another kind of trash to take care of. Achi quickly interposed himself between the girl and the 2 recruiters. Hey, can't you see that you're bothering her? Huh? Who the hell are you? The 2 men glared. Take a hike, pal. Achi stood his ground. Look, she ain't interested. You're just gonna have to find some other mark. The hustler's annoyance turned to open rage. Well, listen to you. Got a bit of a mouth, huh, buddy? The brown-haired thug smacked his lips. Smacked his lips around his chewing gum like a dog worrying a bone. How about we take this someplace more quiet, yeah? What this means can depend on the person speaking. To a young woman, let's go someplace more quiet might suggest a cafe or a park. But to a street punk, it might mean an alley where passerbys are unlikely to interrupt. The girl stood by uneasily, watching the goings-on. Hey, take it easy. I'm not looking for trouble. Is that supposed to be an apology? On your knees and beg, pal. The man spat his gum onto the ground. Achi looked down at the glistening wad of gum on the sidewalk. His last shed of goodwill vanished. You'd better pick that up. Right now. What? Didn't you hear me? 'Cause I told you to get down on your knees and Achi's hand shot up, grabbing the man by the jaw. Whoa, easy, pal! The other man's bravado drained from his face. Achi tightened his grip around the brown-haired hustler's jaw. Sweat dripped from the man's reddening brow. The man struggled, but Achi just tightened his grip. Gum's a real pain in the ass to clean up after it's gotten stuck to the street, you know. Ever stopped to consider that? Wait, are you... The other hustler's panicked eyes had fixed on Achi's chest. God! Ah, crap. That shirt, man. The guy's voice was starting to break. That's mean clean! A guy with a mean clean shirt. Carrying around a trash bag? That means you're... His face went pale. Good. Mean clean? The other man echoed the words through his held-shut jaw, tears welling up in his eyes. Get it right, pal. Achi clenched the man's jaw harder still. It's mean clean. Ow! Ow, 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 ow. Ow, 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 ow. We're sorry, man. You're Achi, right? Dude, honestly had no idea. Come on, man. You gotta cut some slack. The man scrambled to snatch the wad of gum off the street, stuffing it into his pant pocket. Finally, Achi let go of his companion. The brown-haired hustler's face was twisted up with fear, tears streaming down his cheeks. Gasping out hasty apologies, the 2 thugs scampered off. Hey, so... A shy smile came to the girl's face. Ryoko Kakinuma, second-year student at Midoriyama Academy's law school. These hustlers managed to corner her while she was on her way to a part-time job at a cafe. It's a popular plot in trashy e-novels where the main characters can fall in love with hustlers like these guys, but such things rarely happen in real life. Thank you for saving me.
No, I apologize. Huh? The girl stared in surprise. You run into creeps like that now and then, but don't vote against us. Shibuya's a good town. Yeah, okay. Achi gave her a quick wave, then turned and continued on his way down Dogman Block. Achi was Shibuya, born and raised. He was keenly aware of all the changes the ward had seen since he was a kid. Grocery stalls and inconspicuous little side streets, tiny parks nestled between buildings. Achi knew it all like the back of his hand. Trash, human or otherwise, had no place in his town. None on his watch.
I think I'll keep blowing out my mic. Achi made his way down towards Shibuya Station. Throngs of people shuffled to and fro across the Scramble. The view shifted constantly from one moment to the next, almost as if the city itself were alive. And if the city was a living thing, then Shibuya Station was its heart. With streets like Bunkamura Dori and Center Gai, serving as the arteries pumping a bloodstream made of people. Today as ever, the heart was pumping that blood to every nook and cranny of Shibuya. And there was Achi, just another part of this great urban organism. Guess I'm one of the city's white blood cells. Or, wait, maybe I'm a red blood cell? Hold on. Is that right? Or did I have it right the first time? White blood cells eliminate pathogens from the bloodstream, but red blood cells carry oxygen throughout the body. Achi was probably thinking of white blood cells. Emerging from his reverie, he noticed a rather conspicuous young woman standing by the statue of Hachiko outside Shibuya Station. Oh, she's totally my type. To be up someone's alley. To be someone's cup of tea. Wonder if she's a model or a small-time actress or something. Looks like she's waiting for someone. Probably another guy. Dang. Good-looking as she was, there was no way she wasn't already taken. What kind of guy scored a girl like that? Probably the rich-ass CEO of an IT company or something. Crouched down to tie off the trash bag, he continued gazing wistfully at the girl. Then he noticed something peculiar. She was carrying an attaché case, the kind of businessman might use. It was a large case, and apparently so heavy that she was struggling to hold it despite using both hands. Now what kind of person makes a young man lug around something heavy like that? You've reached a decision point. Let's have Achi not approach Hitomi. I want to see what the bad ending from his perspective is. No, fuck you! Game, no, I wanted to see what this bad ending is! Ah, fine. But first, I gotta dump this trash. He looked around to see if there was a garbage bin nearby. Now Achi won't approach Hitomi, which means he will avoid being arrested by Kano. At the same time, Kano's fate will also change, and he will no longer wind up at a bad end. So let's switch back to Kano's story using the time chart. Press triangle to open it. Oh shit. Like we're already doing this. This is the time chart. It shows the protagonist's progression. Through the story, decision points are marked with sort of like a crosswalk, I guess. Kano's fate has changed based on Achi's actions. Select Kano's 1030 block, then press X. Yo, this is cool, actually. Alright. And I can do it every 5 minutes? Oh, that's awesome. This is pretty cool. A suspicious man. I suppose you could call it that. Kano gave a wry chuckle at his partner's lack of shame. Here he is! Kuzo's voice chirped suddenly through Kano's earpiece. The man in the black coat. He's not Japanese. Looks like he might be early 30s. Previously, Achi got mixed up with Kano and the police, but now another man had appeared instead by changing what Achi did. You've also changed Kano's story.
A foreign man had emerged from the crowd about 15 feet from where Hitomi was standing. He made his way toward her, his expression blank. He didn't match the description Hitomi had given them, but Kano felt a jolt of nerves all the same. Maybe the kidnapper was using an accomplice to snatch the ransom payment. Alright, Sasayama raised an eyebrow. This might be our guy? This was it. Kano swallowed the lump in his throat. He bent his knees, ready for action. Blood rushed to his leg muscles, banishing the stiffness that had begun to take hold. Was this the culprit? Or perhaps... The stranger took hold of the attaché case. It was him! In mass, the detectives began to close in. Let's go, Kano. On it. Sasayama and Kano leapt into action, but they never expected what happened next. With the case clutched in both arms, the man veered suddenly, running right towards them. Keep out? Uh-oh. Wahaba. Kano's story has suddenly hit a keep out. Keep out refers to a point in the story where your progress is currently stopped. In order to advance beyond a keep out, you need to jump from another protagonist's story. At 10:30, Achi was the text young man in a suit set as keywords. Set as red keywords. Checking these red keywords will allow you to jump into Achi's story back to Kano's. Now head back to Achi's story and keep an eye out for that. Key phrase. Try following the story from Achi at 10:30. Approach the girl. Already played through to scroll ahead. Rewind, advancing like this will sometimes appear. For successful, this is being displayed to reread the current page. No, damn it! I gotta dump this trash. He looked around to see if there's a trash can nearby. Okay. Huh? A man had come up beside the girl. He was dressed in black and he wasn't Japanese. It looked like they were having a conversation. The girl nodded tensely at something the man said. Achi stared. Something tells me that's not her boyfriend. The girl handed the attaché case over to the man. He took hold of it with his right hand and began walking briskly away. Whoa! A nearby homeless man suddenly leapt over Achi and broke into a run as if he'd been waiting for this very moment. Yuji Sasayama, a detective from the Shibuya precinct known as the cosplay detective due to the strange outfit he wears while on stakeouts. He's partnered with Shinya Kano for the kidnapping investigation. Sprinting alongside him was a young man in a suit. Some words in the text appear to be red. Red denotes important keywords that let you jump between different protagonists. Stories. This allows you to shift between characters at specific points. This can also allow you to clear out a keep out in another character's story and let you read on if you come across red text. Press the square to underline it in the next. A window will appear allowing you to jump from one protagonist to another at that point. Then press X to continue. The other character's story after the keep out. Give it a try. By performing a jump from this screen, you can advance another protagonist's story past a keep out. Press X to confirm and jump over to Kano's story. Let's go, Kano! On it! Sasayama and Kano leapt into action. You did it, jump successful. In 42H, you will often need to jump to get past another character's keep out. Jump from red keywords to clear a keep out. Keep this in mind as you advance. Do the story. Okay, there won't be any more tutorial messages for a while. If you get stuck somewhere, try changing protagonists or making different decisions to advance. You can now use the time chart and the main menu. From the main... Wait, what?
You can now use the time chart and the main menu. From the main menu, you can access gameplay explanations and adjust settings. Press triangle to open the time chart and options to open the main menu. They weren't expecting what happened next. With the case clutched in both arms, the man suddenly veered, running right towards them. What? Catching sight of the two detectives, the suspect staggered to a halt, then bolted off in a new direction. Kano whipped off his costume glasses and followed in hot pursuit. At the crosswalk, the suspect changed to red, and the flow of foot traffic abruptly halted. Just as quickly, hundreds of cars all lurched back into motion. There was no escaping the culprit now, or so it appeared. The converging cops slowed their pace, confident their man was cornered. Then the foreigner barreled straight into the intersection, dodging between the oncoming cars without any hesitation. The mob of detectives came to a halt, not eager to rush to their death along with him. Kano, however, remained in hot pursuit, charging into traffic at the crossing.
Kano, are you crazy? Come back! Ah, fuck, I choked. Come back!
Kano heard Yama shout, but his feet kept carrying him onwards. With shouts and sirens echoing all around him, Kano closed in on the foreigner. Just a little closer, and he'd be in tackling range. He leaned forward, preparing to pounce, his eyes fixed on the culprit's feet. It was now or never. Kano, back off! Don't take him down! It was Kuze shouting through Kano's earpiece. Huh? Kano hesitated in surprise. Had he really just been ordered not to apprehend the criminal? Let him go for now. The real perp is someplace else. Perp is the police jargon for perpetrator. Here, Kuze is referring to the fact that the principal offender in the case must be elsewhere. What had happened to the plan? He'd been told that all personnel were to secure the area ASAP. Didn't HQ want them to catch the perpetrator? Arrest team, stay on the foreigner's tail. Police team dedicated exclusively to the task of apprehending the criminal. While a kidnapping case is in progress, the roles of the officers involved are carefully designated so that every officer is ready to take immediate action as the situation develops. Typically, tired and true veteran MPD officers are put in charge of teams for breaking into buildings or apprehending suspects. Forensics team, get busy cross-referencing photos. Team deployed by the MPD to handle the actual tests and techniques of on-scene investigations, such as collecting fingerprints and analyzing photos of suspects. Even if this foreigner is only an underling hired for this one task, the police had now tipped their hand that they'd been lying in wait. If they didn't lock things down now and get more info on the kidnapper, a girl's life might be at stake. Connor recalled another maxim from his Dick diary. Dick Dictum 12. Always assume a worst-case scenario. If Kuze had told him to let this guy go, that implied he was counting on the team that was now in position. But if the crook had found a way to break through the police Dagna and escape with the ransom, and he succeeded, what was the right call here? Should he take this guy down or back off after all? Alright, so get the perk. I'm gonna do this. I feel like this will lead to a bad end. I want to get the bad ends. Letting the perp escape now is too big of a risk. He had to catch this guy ASAP. Letting the perp escape now is too big of a risk. He had to catch this guy ASAP. The man darted down a narrow alleyway. Kano ran faster. The man sprinted through the side streets. Evidently, he knew this way around Shibuya pretty well. Eep! Someone's taking Hitomi! Kano recognized Kuze's trademark squawk immediately. Subject is male. He appears to be carrying a gun. He's fleeing in the direction of Meiji Dori. What? Kano could hardly believe it. Hitomi had been kidnapped? Had she been abducted by whoever had taken Maria? But why? Someone must have been waiting for the moment when the police took their eyes off her. Something's very wrong here. What in the world is going on? Kano saw the road forked up ahead. The man with the attaché case ran to the left. If the man who'd taken Hitomi was heading towards Majidori, then there was a good chance he'd gone down one of the alleyways off to the right. Making a snap judgment, Kano told the detective behind him to follow the case snatcher, then turned and headed down the nearest alley. After darting through the side street, he spotted a different man, another foreigner, crossing an intersection a few dozen meters ahead. The man was dressed in black, just like the guy who'd carried the ransom case. Who grabbed the ransom case. Kuze's right, the kidnapper wasn't acting alone. But wait, something was amiss. Hitomi isn't with him. Where was she? Kano skidded around the corner, then stopped short. The man in black was standing there, pointing the gun right at him. Before Kano could react, the man fired. Kano felt hot all over, as if he were on fire. All except for his cheek pressed against the asphalt and the palm of his hands. They felt so cold. There was nothing he could do. Nothing. That is except lie there and watch as his killer turned and walked away. Number 4. Shot by a foreigner. By trying to find the man who'd taken Hitomi, Kano ran into a different criminal, and unfortunately for him, he got shot. If the criminal hadn't been able to get near Hitomi, she probably wouldn't have been taken. Have Achi make the choice to talk to Hitomi instead at 10:35. Wait, really? I'm actually going to go back here real quick.
It was the right call here. Let the other officers chase after this guy. Kano had his own job to do. Kuze's instructions had been clear. Let the other officers chase after the guy. Kano had his own job to do. He broke off his pursuit, pointing the next wave of detectives in the direction the foreigner had fled.
Kano had almost gotten close enough to get a good look at the guy's face, but if Kuze had ordered him to let the guy go, well, his boss should know what he was doing. The perp was someone else's problem now. He had just ceased his pursuit when Kuze's panicked voice sounded shrill in his ear. Someone's taken Hitomi! Kano recognized Kuze's trademark squawk immediately. The subject is male. He appears to be carrying a gun. He's fleeing in the direction of Maiji Dori. What? Kano could hardly believe it. Hitomi had been kidnapped. Had she been abducted by whoever had taken Maria? Why? Someone must have been waiting for the moment when the police took their eyes off her. Something's very wrong here. What in the world is going on? Kano hurried to search for the man who'd taken Hitomi. If he was heading toward Maiji Dori, there was a good chance he'd gone down one of the alleyways nearby. Darting through the side streets, he spotted a different man, another foreigner, crossing an intersection a few dozen meters ahead. The man was dressed in black, just like the guy who had grabbed the ransom money. Kuze was right. The kidnapper wasn't acting alone. But wait, something was amiss. Hitomi isn't with him. Where was she? Kano skidded around the corner, then stopped short. The right man fired. Okay, so all of these lead to this bad end. So the biggest problem is the fact that Hitomi gets kidnapped. Hitomi getting kidnapped causes this sort of convergence to, or divergence to converge back. Interesting. Okay, but what if I don't jump? I'm curious. Whoa! A nearby homeless man lapped a young man in a suit. Then, seemingly from everywhere, a whole bunch of other guys burst into motion. First one, then another. A third, a fourth, a fifth, over a dozen now. What the heck? Clearly something big was going down. Were they after the Itachi case? Within moments, Achi lost sight of them all through the crowd. With that many people chasing him, the guy with the case was sure to get caught. But wait, what about that girl? Achi turned back. The girl was still there. She was staring in the direction the man who'd taken the case had gone, a worried expression on her face. I gotta see this. Another crazy day in Shibuya. They had to be shooting a scene for a film on location. It would probably be a mistake to intrude. Another crazy day in Shibuya.
Yeah, I bet that was it. Some TV show about a kidnapping, and the girl has to make the ransom handoff. There's probably some actor looking around here playing this suave handsome detective. Hachi gave a chuckle and turned away. A soothing breeze blew by as wispy clouds drifted overhead. They picked a nice day for a shoot. Smiling inwardly, he resumed his trash-picking mission, wondering what other surprises the day would hold. A few moments later, he heard a loud bang, and the scramble went into an uproar. Huh? Someone blow a tire? People were running from all directions to see what made that noise. Oh, maybe they're shooting an action scene now. Hachi was a tad bit curious, but he strolled away from the scramble without looking back. Maybe he'd head out to Yotsuya today to stretch his legs a bit. A neighborhood of the Shinjuku ward in the southeastern part of Tokyo. Located approximately 4 kilometers northeast of Shibuya Station. While the number 428 in Japanese can be pronounced the same as the syllables for the name of Shibuya, they can also be pronounced like the syllables for Yotsuya. Additionally, April 28th is both Shibuya Day and Yotsuya Day, along with Senior Day. It was best not to get distracted. There was trash that needed collecting. Blissful ignorance. Your future is garbage. Hachi decided to go on collecting trash because he decided the commotion in the scramble was probably just a TV show shooting progress. He'll probably have a pretty uneventful day, which is all well and good for him, but the girl was actually in danger, as he'd have discovered if he had investigated further. He missed his chance to help her out, to go back and make a different choice. Your future is garbage.
Okay, hang on. Here, I'm gonna go back to the approach the girl, because I want to see the bad end from his perspective. You know what kind of person makes a young lady lug around something heavy like that? Hachi figured he'd offer to carry it for her. The girl kept shifting her grip. It was clearly a strain for her to keep holding the case, but she didn't set it down. Whatever was inside it had to be something pretty important. Hachi made his way over to her, bristling inward as whoever had left her waiting like this. If I were you, I'd bust the head of the punk that's kept you waiting. Huh? The thing looks heavy. Let me carry it for you. The girl stared back at Hachi, with wide eyes, but said nothing. Really, I'm happy to help. I'm not going to steal it or anything. His tone was hurried, and he impulsively reached for the attaché case. An instant later, a group of men descended on him from all sides.
Whoa, hey, what the hell?
For an instant, Hachi froze, unable to process what just happened. He tried to run, but the men shoved him unceremoniously to the ground and held him there. They were shouting about something or other, but he couldn't make out their words. The more he tried to struggle, the harder they held him down. What the hell is this?
You can tell us down to the precinct.
A man in a suit knelt beside him, flashing a police badge. Identifies the bearer as a member of the Japanese law enforcement. The old-style badge case included a small notebook for the bearer to write in, but the modern version is modeled after that used by the FBI, where the badge case contains only the badge itself.
What? You're arresting me? The heck did I even do?
Instead of answering, they shoved Hachi into the backseat of a patrol car. He gazed dejectedly out the window. He could still see the girl. She didn't have the case anymore, and now she was talking to a man with a cane. Was he the person she'd been waiting for? A moment later, the car turned the corner, and the two of them slipped out of view. Hachi slumped into the seat, sulking and silent. Several hours passed. After a bunch of pointless questioning, the police finally determined he was innocent, and his father came to pick him up. For a long while, Hachi had stared intently out the window of the car. Finally, his father caught his attention. The old man seemed to be in a surprisingly good mood, despite having to collect his son from the jailhouse. Achi, there's something I want to talk to you about. If it's about me taking over the shop, now is not the time, okay? No, it's not that. Look, let's just get home first. Sure, don't feel like going out today anyway. But now I'm curious. What do you mean? What do you want to talk about? I got some good news. I think you'll be pleased. I'm not sure I like the sound of that. Please don't tell me you're getting remarried or something. Dad, I really don't like the sound of that. And so began a very long conversation. Arrested. Achi was just trying to be nice, but when he tried to take the Itachi case, he walked right into the middle of a police stakeout. His heart was in the right place, but the timing was a bit off. Maybe he should have finished dealing with the garbage first and watched how the situation played out. Go back to Achi's 10:30 and try making a different decision.
Alright. Well, about the only thing that I can do at this point
Oh, so long, Shibuya. Oh, so I have to make sure that I'm going B route. Okay.
Alright. So now we have different stuff.
Okay. So now I want to go here and then do what's the deal. Your future is garbage. Your future is garbage. Crunch! A left to the heap. I fucking hate myself. Alright. Well, I'm going to actually end it here because it's been a little over an hour. So yeah, thank you all for watching, especially if you got this far. I am enjoying this so far. I definitely hope things get a little more complicated story-wise. I'm pretty sure you play as 5 different people, I think. So things will definitely start getting interesting once a lot more characters come into the mix. But yeah,
Stick around.
there's a lot more to come.